So best friends got each other's back. We used to cruise around with a bass to the max. Everyone in school while I was in the lab, cooking up some beats that would turn into tracks. High school chillin', I was on a mission. I had bigger dreams of being a musician. Teachers always talked but I couldn't seem to listen. I lived in a fantasy land, they called it fiction. But I was gonna be big one day, playing shows on the road to a sold out stage. Nobody really cared or believed I would make it anywhere close, I would fail and fade. But that's cool, I love that, cause any little doubt gives me energy back. And now, I'm in a place where I'm glad I never gave up on the dreams I had. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. Yeah, let's go. So if you want something big, you gotta swing fast, swing hard and commit. You might miss 10 times, but when you hit, just make sure that you get all of it, okay? People at the top took risks. Investing and testing is all that they did. It's not complicated, it just takes grit. So never give up, take a swing at it. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing. And big dreams lead to big things, and big swings lead to big rings. Championships or the big screen, anyone who did anything took a big swing.
Hey guys, what is up? Welcome to the Pick and Roll Podcast, episode 129. The guys should be here shortly. How's everyone doing in the chat? We got 15 people in here. Really glad each one of you could make it. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that notification bell. I got something to do with family at 6, so yeah, we're gonna run the show at 5 today. Hopefully everyone pops in. And really quick, guys, really quick. If you guys haven't checked out our gaming channel, Hardcore Play and Rewind, make sure you guys do that. Make sure you guys check out Hardcore Play and Rewind on YouTube. So yes, that's Hardcore Play and Rewind. Make sure you guys check that out. And our Coos here, what is up, bro? What is up? AA move to the Lakers, don't need the needle. For me, I agree with you. I got a hot take about that later on where we talk about it. Because first, we got to bring up, hey, Cowboy John, what is up, man? What is up, bro? Blake should be here any minute, hopefully. But, yeah, let's start talking about the Milwaukee Bucks, guys. As you guys know, they brought in Miles Turner, which led to Damian Lillard getting waived. Damian Lillard getting waived. His contract got stretched out for 5 more. So he's been waived. He can go anywhere he wants. I heard the Warriors are interested in him. I heard the Celtics are interested in him. For me, honestly, this whole thing with the Bucks, I agree. It's just a mess. This whole thing is just a debacle. Dude, it's just like one thing after the other with the Milwaukee Bucks. So I'm like from a Sixers perspective, I'm okay with it. Hey, there he is.
No, I'm not here.
Hey,
Okay, I'm here.
how you doing, man?
I'm not here.
So you're here or you're not?
I'm here.
No, you're not.
No, I'm not here.
Ah, let me join you because I'm not here either.
I'm here to mourn the loss of no Scooby-Doo.
Hey, hold on. Halftime is a fan of the Knicks. So there is still Scooby-Doo over there.
It's his fault
How is it his fault?
for taking him.
Taking him. Dude, let's honestly just talk about that, man. I'm kind of upset because they're going with Grimes, but
If you give me the choice, I would
I
have
want Yabu.
kept Yabu over Grimes because
Thank you.
we got enough shooters. But I think,
Thank you.
but
Fire Embiid.
I think they'll be all right the way they are. I think VJ Edgecomb's going to be a lot better than people thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Wait, what happened to Scooby-Doo, Blaze?
R.I.P. to Scooby-Doo. He thought I was talking about.
No, guys, I'm
Yabu.
talking about. He's talking about Gerson Yabusele, and what I do, I would go Yabba Dabba Doo.
No, we don't have to
Scooby-
revisit it. We'll
Yabba
talk
Dabba
about
Doo.
how. No, we don't have to talk about how ridiculous it is.
Yabba Dabba Doo, Scooby-Doo.
No, it's gonna be.
Why is it ridiculous? It rhymes. Yabba Dabba Doo. Scooby Doo. Yeah, you and Halftime are very much alike. He hates that too.
Because it's dumb.
It's great. I love it. Mitch, I get it. Ha ha. Hey,
yeah, haha.
Grimes update. LOL. Is he trying to use the Sixers to get a better deal? It could take all summer with this whole thing with Grimes. It could take all summer. It could take. Who knows?
I liked what he did when he was here, but like I said before, Mitch, let's be real. Is he going to produce like that when McCain and Maxey and Embiid and Paul George are all in the lineup?
No. No, I said that multiple times. So
But I think that's part of the problem is that's what they're expecting now. He's another like Arku said, like he's another $25 million man. Like he should give him $25 million too.
hey, give me 25 mil. I'm worth it.
Just give me $500,000. Half a one. Half a one.
Have a one. I take that too. But for me, it's just like it is what it is. Eric Gordon's back. Don't even get me started. Yeah. Kyle Lowry looking like they
his
come back.
choice, right? With
Yeah,
Gordon.
he picked up the player option. Same with Andre Drummond, who the Sixers are trying to trade, but that's not going to work.
Now, as much as I know, because I've heard your little rant, you're not going to like this take.
Let me hear it.
I like the dynamic of a group full of young people and a group full
I
of
would
old
go
people.
to like a max of 3. I'm not talking. I don't want like 5 or 6 taking a player spots.
mentorship. I think it's
That
very
is so
important.
overblown.
But here's
That is
the
so
thing:
overblown.
I don't think there's a problem with having 5 or 6 young guys and 4 or 5 veterans.
But once they're taking a spot at VJ Edgecombe,
They're not taking his spot. It'll be up to how they play. And I think the competition's more between McCain and Edgecombe. 'Cause
yeah,
To me, you give Oubre most of those minutes because he's earned it. He's been there last year.
correct.
He's earned it. And he plays a great role player. I think Yabu hurts a lot more than people
Yeah.
realize.
Yeah, the rebounding especially.
Yeah, because he doesn't need to score. Like Yabu doesn't need to score.
No,
His passing, getting the ball out quick whenever he does rebound, all his rebounds, obviously.
if it gets
Yeah.
on Blaze nerves, you should do it, man.
Yeah. See, no. Anything he's saying.
Scooby Doo.
No.
Hey,
I mean, I'm sure he will be, Richie. I'm sure he will be. But if you can get a big league check 1 or 2 more times,
he's got to take it. Like
not-
I'm not
now-
mad at him. I'm not
Yeah.
mad at him for taking it.
and I'm not disagreeing with you about not wanting to have too many old people as the ones carrying the load. So I get
Yeah.
what you're saying.
What is that, Downey? It's just
There's-
like
A lot of young players. I mean, I know I'm sound homer with the Kentucky jersey on and everything, but I think Justin Edwards can take a leap into a much bigger piece to the puzzle than he was last year.
3-year deal.
Is Ricky Council still on this team?
As of right now, yes. As
I
of
mean,
right now,
he
he's
still
there.
has shit tons of potential, I feel. You know, it's like
yeah.
And you need role players. Like I've said before, the last 3 champions have proven that it's not all about. It doesn't have to be about PG, Embiid, and Maxey. It more has to be about those giving them a spell and those coming off the bench.
The Golden Girls 76ers.
Yeah, that's only because the spotlight's on 2 of the 3.
Coach,
that are
whenever you're
old.
ready, pop on in.
Oh, Coach
Hey.
is here? I'm out of here. I don't even want to be a part of this. I'm out.
He's trolling. How you doing, Coach?
Tired, man. Just busy.
I tried to
day.
get it right off the bat. It didn't work. I tried to get it right off the bat. He's like, I don't give a shit if you leave or not, but go fuck yourself.
How are you guys
Yeah.
doing?
Shout out. What's up, Coach? Good to see you.
Doing good, except for my Sixers off season.
Hey, I'm about to go halftime right now and say the Knicks are going all the way next year.
Oh, by the way,
Hey,
I was on the phone with him today, and he was like, Mitch, I was right. I'm like, what are you talking about? You had them going all the way. He was like, no one expected them to go that far, but I did.
the
I'm
only
like-
reason I say it, one is to troll halftime and everybody and do that spiel, but I absolutely love the head coach pick. I love it. I think it's
My friend
perfect.
doesn't, who's a
I
Knicks
think
fan.
it's brilliant. I think it's good from the outside looking in, from a non-Knicks fan, to someone. I think that is let me not say perfect, but a much better fit for
Yeah.
what you need to do in today's basketball than they had with Tibbs. And I don't
Coach?
think it's about overhauling the team. It's the same thing that Philly's dealing with. It doesn't need to be about overhauling the team because a lot of the pieces are already there. It's about building those depth pieces and those role-playing pieces that have been so vital in the last 3 championships. I'll keep talking about it.
Mm-hmm. Coach, how do you feel about Mike Brown? No.
No, it's not that. I'm taking a wait and see approach. I'm giving it some time. He
I know
was
you
not
wanted
the-
Mark Jackson, and I agree. That would have been a hell of a pick too, because he's a brilliant basketball mind.
I wanted
Yeah,
that too.
He's look. Everyone knows he's blackballed. For what reason, we don't know. But as far as Mike Brown, he has the credentials. It's just that it wasn't the sexy hire, especially after firing Tibbs. I've heard the arguments that they're the same, but Brown has been better offensively. He even was coach of the year with the #1 offense before, so he's very versatile. He's coached some elite talent across the board.
That's big.
So he's coached under technically he's coached under 3 championship coaches, 2 where he won championships, but whatchamacallit from Indiana, he coached under him also. So, and he won the championship. So he has the championship pedigree behind him. So I understand what's happened at the other places, especially Sacramento. I don't know. I think he has a 600 winning record overall. And I think he's like 55% as far as in the playoffs. So, again, I'm giving it a wait and see approach, but the pressure is on the whole organization, not just him. I mean,
Yep.
you can probably look at him last because #1, it's on the players first. It's on Leon Rose. It's on Dolan, the owner, because he's the one that made decided to make the change. So, that's who. There are several Knicks fans who said they're going to look at them first. So, but again, it's on all of them. The
I'm so
bottom
glad
line.
you say that, though, Coach, because a lot of people, they want to put blame on one specific point way
Mhm.
too much. And it's like,
Yeah.
it's a collective. I mean, it's an
Mhm.
organization. And like you said, I'm glad you say it, because a lot of times people forget the players are first. As a coach, you're a coach. I mean, I've tasted a little bit. You could set up a game plan 1,000,000 times over. They can perform it perfectly in practice, and something screws it up as soon as you get on the court. So it doesn't always work out. I mean, the coach is definitely major important, but it's always players first, because that's where the actual competition is. It's like that sounds like I'm reiterating the obvious, but there's a lot of people out there that need that reminder because they're always blaming the refs, blaming the coach, blaming the owner, blaming the GM.
Okay, halftime.
I mean, I'm just saying, I'm not saying that there's never blame on those spots, but there's
Mhm.
people that consistently only blame those spots and forget that it always should go, the onus should go on the players first, regardless, maybe less or more sometimes, depending on the situation. But that's just a great point that really needs to be brought home, I think, in today's
Yep.
sports culture, I should say.
I
Agree.
agree. Yep. I agree with that. So, yeah, we had a question earlier about DeAndre Ayton signing with the Lakers on a 2-year deal. And
Mhm.
for me, I'm going to say this right now. LeBron ruined the Lakers by opting in. What he normally does, he opts out and then goes in on a cheaper deal. He didn't do that this year. He
No,
didn't do that. So
I
the
said that-
Lakers were like
I
kaput.
said this last week. I've never been an expert on the numbers or contracts or stuff. You guys are a lot better on that. I'll admit it straight up. So,
Mhm.
like, correct me
Oh,
if-
thank you about that.
yeah, well, I've never really studied the numbers of the psychics behind all of the physics behind out there, anything. I don't know, but correct me if I'm wrong. He now can he can leave, right? There is an opportunity that he can go, so they can trade him. He could ask for a trade and he can go somewhere else, right?
Mhm.
He's not locked in to come into the Lakers, so there's that possibility now he could get out of it and go somewhere else. Because I'm hearing that talk, which I don't trust me. The last thing we want is reason for everyone to talk about him every day of the week. If he's maybe going somewhere else again, because I've already heard minor chatter about back to Cleveland, or he's already burned too many bridges in Boston and Miami, so he ain't going there. So it's like, I don't know.
Mm.
But what I keep hearing from Shams and other people is there is a move that's about to happen that could shatter the entire. And it's supposedly what Shams said on McAfee was it's going to make the Luka trade look like nothing, like something you normally see.
With
I'm
the
like,
7-team trade? You're talking about a
he
7-team
said that,
trade?
yeah, there's rumors about like a 7-team trade and
Oh yeah,
there's
yeah.
rumors of the LeBron moving stuff. There's rumors of all these things that, I mean, because I'm trying to think if he's really going to go out and limb, and they get paid to be wrong too. Let's be real. Plus, things can change. So over the time he got word that this was a possibility, the next week a lot of things could change. All these other pickups and drops and shit happens, and maybe those pieces to the puzzle don't fit anymore. But from what he was saying, he was like, and he's really putting himself out there when he says shit like that. But to say there's something that's going to happen, because they were busting his balls because he said in the beginning, this is going to be like one of the greatest, bestest ever free agent times ever. And he was like, he just felt there was going to be big moves. Like we knew the KD one was going to happen. There's still the Giannis possibility too, which I'm sticking to my guns. I think he stays. But it's going to take getting someone, like a Trae Young or someone in to keep him there. I'm not set on he's staying. But don't you think by now he would have said, yeah, knowing the type of person Giannis is, right? Don't you think by now he would have said, I'm requesting a trade at least? I don't know. I mean, I could be wrong. It's a weird situation with him because everyone's all putting him in all these other cities and teams. And I'm like, he ain't going nowhere. The big question now is if he has anything left, and if he has anything left in the tank thing is huge. Where could Dame end up next year? When he heals up, now he's pretty much fair game, right? They're going to pay him 25 million for the next 5 years or some shit. But I don't get why they would release him. Why wouldn't you just keep him on the roster? Like, did that free them up for some cap space or something?
Yeah, that's how they got Miles Turner.
Yeah, I mean that's the part I heard, but I just didn't understand it. And I mean, I guess it makes sense why they would get, because I was like, why wouldn't you just keep Dame on? I mean, if you're going to pay him the 25 million every year anyway, I didn't know that it affected the cap so they could get Miles Turner, which that kind of sucks because you understand why Miles Turner would take it, but in his heart he probably wanted to sign for maybe a couple more years and end his career in the same place. Would have been a great story, but he's got to take that money. He's coming off of a great year. Take the money if it's there. And from what I heard, it only came down to 4 or 5 million. But who am I to judge what 4 or 5 million is to anybody? I'd take 1/4 of a million.
Dame, he or the Trailblazers?
Going back to the Trailblazers would make no fucking sense to me in the world. I get it, familiarity, blah, 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 to go retire or whatever, but why would you go back? That's it's like you finally got out of there. Go somewhere else and test the damn waters.
You know where I think? Golden State.
Could see
I think
that.
he can fill in the shoes of the Klay Thompson. I think that would be perfect.
I don't know. Buddy Hield did a pretty damn good job when he was clicking for a while. Him and Steph were looking good out there.
Yeah.
No one's going to be the Splash Brothers. Don't get me wrong.
There's one thing though with Dame. Remember, he's 35, and
got a couple years left.
His injury was late in the season. So when is he coming back? If he is coming back next year?
They said
34,
possibly
35, yeah.
They said possibly All-Star break, but it could be all
So,
year, like you're saying.
Exactly.
It could be all year.
And will teams want to say, well, now will a team say, well, we'll sign you for a couple of years, and then you could, go through our medical staff and help the process in your recovery? Yes, that is a possibility. But who really does? Because you don't know. Because anybody who's ever had an Achilles, when they come back, their play goes down a little bit.
Yeah,
Even
no
Kobe,
matter what, it's going to.
Yeah, so your point production is going to go down.
But if he can still be a gunslinger, that's a difference maker late in the season.
True.
He can come into a team who's like on the verge, like a team like a Houston that was on the verge this year, something like that. Just needed something to get over the hump, and it's like, I don't know. I mean, and that's all me hoping he's still got a little bit in him, because he may come back and not have anything left. It may be too depleted. He might not be able to come back. We don't know, and that's I mean, the whole Achilles thing is a huge. It could become a big problem if it keeps happening, especially to bigger stars. Now, in the last year, 48 months or whatever, we're getting so many big names. That's why it's coming to the forefront now. And it affects like people are already saying, like one team goes down, one big player in the East goes down. Now what you're looking at, because it's already weak. You know what I'm saying? So like that weakens it more and everything. It's all that conversation, which you got to. I mean, I'm one person, and I think more people should be, that you got to kind of go into the next season hoping your team's going to be healthy. I know being a Sixer fan, it's tough to accept that, but you should hope that the team. You should expect health out of your team, and whatever else happens, that's just the way the balls damn bounce,
Yeah, but that doesn't help when you get Eric Gordon back and Kyle Lowry back. That doesn't help.
The reason I mention that is because it seems now this Achilles thing could be bigger problem than people thought.
Oh my God, yeah. Especially if you wear the number 0.
Because that affects. Because here's the thing, and you know how I am on tanking and even using that word and stuff.
Not going.
Organizations could want to for reasons, but right now and this is totally against my way of thinking. This is the perfect opportunity for the Pacers to pretty much tank. Because if Halliburton's going to be out for a year,
Turner's
you really got to
have
Turner's going. You really got to hope for the Nembhorns and the Neesmiths to really take a leap and carry that team, because it was shitty at the beginning of the year. This is not a team that dominated all year like Oklahoma State. So the Pacers are like set up, and I'm not saying they should or that I like that at all, but I'm like, if there would ever be a really good scenario, what do they have? I mean, are they really going to compete next year unless they go out and grab somebody soon to fill the Halliburton hole? But that's the type of conundrum teams have now. Same thing with, or do you just release these people because they're late in their careers?
Look at Boston.
Same thing with the Tatum thing. Yep.
Tatum, they let go Drew Holiday. They traded Porzingis away. So they still got Jaylen Brown there.
Well, that's the next level to this whole thing. We talk about Big Three. We talk about how super teams were there. Now we're talking about making a bigger team and having maybe 2 or 3 max players and building quality around it into the third string. That's a change. That's a shift. So it's a little different.
Yeah.
Also remember too, you got to look at every team's salary position, because this second level of the cap, man, you're starting to see how teams, you want to make a championship push, but you don't want to be on it because I didn't know that you stay on it too long. There's also another restriction that they freeze a first-round draft pick.
Wow.
Later on. So, this is where teams are like, okay, we'll put our foot in a little bit, but we're not trying to stay in there because we don't want to lose the first round draft pick. And it's not the next year. I think it's like 5 or 6 years down the road. So there's so many layers to this whole thing that, you know what, player movement is going to be interesting, but it's going to be more based on your player development and drafting the right players. Because yes, these players are going to want their money, and don't get me wrong, but now, can you afford to have two players making a lot of money and a lot of that money, or are you going to go with one, and then what does that do for everyone else? And then do other players have to start saying, well, we have to take less money just to get on the roster? That's
my point. These teams that are now building with depth, with maybe two big stars, but a lot more well-paid, really good players, it's hard to keep those teams now. Like Denver did it, but they had to lose 4 or 5 pieces right afterwards. They couldn't come back with the same thing. Boston, now look at what they're dismantled. You know, now Oklahoma City's going to have the same problem, not as quick, maybe in a couple more years till their rookie contracts start ending. But as of right now, they're sitting pretty. But that's my point was, instead of trying to build a super team or get a big three, now it's once you build a team, how do you keep it because of all those restrictions? Because then if you have 2 stars and all of a sudden, let's just say Indiana won and Naismith and Nembhard blew up. They both dropped 30 in game 6 and 7. They're now superstars. And their contracts come up. Now they're good. So now you can't afford to have 4 max contract. You just can't.
So
I think that's good for the game. It brings parity.
Yeah, it brings parity, and what it's going to do, you're going to see, like we're talking, teams like Portland, teams like Utah, those superstars that we're talking about now are going to have to go to teams like that, because you can't pair up with your boy on XYZ team and get the same money like Boston. You can't afford $300 million players. You can't unless you're going to get rid of everybody. And if you do that, then that means are you really at a championship level?
The Clippers tried with all those, they had 4 or 5 stars. And it has to be the right mix of them. We've proven that how many times. You can't just throw 3 stars in a city and it's going to work. Go ask New Jersey about it, how that works. It's like it doesn't always pan out just because you got 3 perennial all-stars and put
There's
it together.
No more New Jersey. Wait a minute. There's no more New Jersey. It's Brooklyn. Stop it.
You know what I meant.
NYC.
There might be, as the New Jersey Sixers could be born if they can't figure out the stadium problem.
It'll be the New Jersey Knicks.
I mean, Leon's from New Jersey,
So look, you go right across the bridge, right over to Newark to the Prudential Center. You're not that far. So, and it's right there by the train station. Same type of layout. So, but I know they're not believing MSG. Dolan is not going to do that.
I think a lot of people are like, oh no, the dynasty era is gone. We'll never see dynasties again. It just makes it harder to get a dynasty. And now a dynasty may not have to be 4 championships with the same core players. Maybe it's only 3. Maybe getting 2 with that group is going to be damn impressive. You know what I mean? So bringing that standard down a little bit instead of letting it be so easily attained, I think that's good for the sport in the long run.
Yeah. Well, speaking of Brooklyn, they just made a trade. They got Michael Porter Jr. and they traded away Cameron Johnson to the Denver Nuggets.
I was going to say they need to do something with Cam Thomas too.
Cam Thomas is going to stay. I feel like he's going to stay.
He just seems to be whittling away there. Now he's going to get into that Dame Lillard in Portland, Giannis in Milwaukee, getting stuck with this team that's not damn going anywhere.
I know. They got 5 guards in the draft, or 4 and a big guy.
I mean, and I'm not. This isn't any put down on the Nets at all. I would just same thing as with Dame. I don't give a 2 shits about Dame or the Blazers. It just came to a point where I wanted to see a player like that on a different team and see, if he has a next level, or maybe he flourishes to such a great piece to a puzzle to bring a championship to a city.
Yeah, I mean, there's.
Like Richie says about the Clippers, that Kawhi and James Garbage and that group over there, it didn't work. It's not working. Like that would be frustrating to have to deal with, like packing in a bunch of stars and it didn't work. and it didn't work. Now how far do you set your franchise back to try to reset it?
Well,
that's what
it's
coaches
not,
talking
it's not
about,
working
too.
with the Sixers.
That's what coaches talk about too, because they've never. I mean, they've had 1 year bottom of the barrel, and that's because of all injuries. They haven't had a sucky
Still not
year.
working. It hasn't worked since 01.
Mhm.
And we didn't even win.
Well, yeah. Well, everyone's definition of working is different. When you talk to a franchise who hasn't been to playoffs for 20 years, it might be different than a team who can't get past the first round or something like that.
In the second round, but
Yeah. Only
when
one
you have
team. Only one team wins every year, so it's not. I mean, I put a high value on that. I just don't use that as loosely as a lot of people do. That's all.
I get that. But when you look at the Sixers and what they went through with the process, and now we're here, haven't done anything.
Well, they should have made it clear the process is only going to be this many years. Because now I was like, is this a 30-year what the hell kind of process is this? I mean, but I get it. I just think it's a good thing, especially for us who do podcasts about the NBA, that there's a lot of stuff going on right now. And it comes with the NBA going to the Game 7 plus the draft being 2 days later and then free agency hits. It was like that was a big wave. But now it's like we got Summer League, I guess.
Yeah, with Summer League this weekend, I will be streaming the Sixers and Utah. Ace Bailey against VJ Edgecombe. So I will be streaming that. Crazy thing, Ben Simmons going to get more than an average payday. Sixers fans want him back. I am done.
I don't know. I don't want to know or care to be around said Sixers fans, but where the hell are you seeing that at? That they want Ben Simmons back?
You want me to play the TikTok?
No,
I
not
know
really.
Knicks. I know there are quite a few Knicks fans who are talking about it, and I'm like, they're breaking down his career and all this and that, and I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I see that all over Twitter. Every social media platform.
Well, I don't get why.
Because it's second chance.
I mean, you're talking to the guy who said he could be a sixth man of the year not long ago, and I'm like,
Yeah, but you were joking about that.
yeah, but at the same time, the dude is not he's not a scrub. He could have some value to some team out there. He's not what we thought he was. That's for sure.
Right.
I mean, that's not even debatable.
Well, if you're looking for him for offense, yeah, you're right. But the argument that I keep hearing is, he's versatile defensively. He can switch. He can facilitate. He has good size. He can also rebound. So and he'd be good with a second unit, not as a starter. So like with the Knicks, they're saying get him for the vet minimum. So I'm like, well, somebody who's going to give him more than the vet minimum. He's definitely not coming to the Knicks. Because
Ben Simmons to Portland could work.
You can go waste away up there for them to do nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
that's a big one there. Where he lands, he needs to go somewhere.
It's going to Miami. My guess is Miami.
It just seems that's another one with a bunch of talent that it doesn't seem like we're going to get to see his potential.
Send him to Brooklyn.
I would totally be for that.
You're laughing, but there's a reason why I say that.
I'm not at all. I think that's a perfect spot for someone like him.
He went to high school in New Jersey.
Yeah,
I did not know that.
Yes, he went to the Patrick School or the old St. Patrick School in New Jersey. So, so he's basically you're saying he's in the local area. So, it would be in a sense a second home, and he would get a great opportunity. So. That's why, and then New Jersey, look what they're doing, man. Look at the amount of first-round draft picks that they have. Now, it's a double-edged sword because when they come through for their second contract, you're gonna be facing the heat. But then again, you could also package a lot of those draft picks to get a superstar. So and you could fill out your roster. So. I'm not sleeping on Brooklyn. I'm really not sleeping on Brooklyn. They're going to do the right thing, what they should have done instead of going after Durant and all them initially when they had Kenny Atkinson and they were building the program the right way. So,
yeah. So, Prime, I do like Duncan Robinson going to the Pistons. He's got a couple years. He's a shooter.
He replaces Tim Hardaway Jr.
Yeah. Where did Hardaway Jr. go again?
Denver.
Oh, right.
Denver.
Oh my God, Denver's
They brought
killing it
back
right now.
Bruce Brown, and I mean, it's everyone. If you look at it right now, everyone is doing what, in a sense, what OKC and Indiana is building depth. Look at my
Yeah.
Knicks now. Now we can say, okay, now the Knicks. First of all, you don't have Tibbs anymore to really wear guys down. You do have a bench in a sense, and then the focus is going to be on player development. So now you're bringing in coaches who are going to help develop. You have Dadier, who was on the French team, who was with
Wemby.
no, with it's not that. I was on a Knicks chat yesterday, and they made the joke because they can't say his name. They said we're gonna call him Yabba Dabba Doo. So I was just
It's Gerson
but
Yabusele.
but they were teammates on the French national team. So it's like you look at things like that. Everybody kills the Knicks for the Nova Knicks, but you want familiarity to help build some level of continuity. So now if you get player development, you can build up Dadier. You have Gerson there. You have a new coaching staff. Everyone's going to be starting fresh, so everyone's going to be hungry. They're going to be learning together. You have Clarkson. It's like, okay, I'm sitting here, I'm looking at the team. I'm like, okay, do you start Mitch or do you keep him on the second unit? Do you start and it's like, okay, what do you do? Mike Brown, he's going to bring some of that Princeton cut offense, So now that means you're going to put you can put Cat at the high post and let him focus on backdoor cuts and facilitating in that regard. So now you're not always focusing on JB just coming down, dribble, pick and roll, things of that nature. Now you're going to have movement. So now it's going to be a different Knicks offense, because there were so many times the Knicks would come down, sometimes Brunson would come down, cross over half line, kick it over to the center, whether it's Mitchell or Cat, take a couple of dribbles, give it over to a wing, so do some type of weave at the high circle before you give it back to JB to then try and get the offense going. Now it's going to be totally different. I like it. I like the thought of it. But that's why I'm also giving it a wait and see approach, because how do these players adapt? Do they really buy in? So it's like, okay, and then you're in the East, everyone says it. I forgot where I was looking at it. They broke down the rankings of the Eastern teams. Yeah, Cleveland and New York were number 1. Your Sixers were number 4. I was just like, okay. But the whole premise was if everybody comes back healthy and you're playing well, which realistically you guys do have a good squad. Y'all may not like it, but you have a good squad. It's more about the injuries. But if everybody's healthy and everyone is there, your team can be a threat. So
it can. It can. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just nervous about them putting Eric Gordon in and Kyle Lowry in.
Look, they're more on the back end, but you know what? Sometimes it's more about the veterans in the locker room. That's why we have PJ Tucker.
That's why PJ Tucker did that really work well for us? I don't know.
No, I'm saying for the Knicks last year, he worked well because in the locker room. So, and that's what I'm saying. You brought them back more. Well, I don't know about Ben Gordon, but I'm thinking Kyle Lowry is just going to be on the back end, in an emergency if you have to, but you have young guards. So, but overall as a team, everyone talks about the East as being wide open, and it is in a sense, but there's still some good teams. Detroit,
Magic,
Orlando,
the Magic,
Cleveland,
Atlanta. I love what Atlanta has done. I'm sitting here saying if Porzingis is healthy, him and Trey in the pick and roll or pick and pop, those two, man, that's.
Hey, let them talk about all those other teams. I don't want them to talk about Philly. Talk about all the other teams.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm hoping for a healthy Sixer team, and I'm with you. I think they compete. I don't think a lot of teams can match up to what they got because they have a good mix of the run type of game that it helped Indiana, Oklahoma City get to where they were. Plus, they do have some young depth. It's not all old depth. They got some young depth that kind of mirrors what we're talking about that teams should be looking for already. So in a way, once again, if healthy, they're already ahead of the game. They're doing what the
Mhm.
teams have been doing, how they're
Yeah.
building their team. Same things the Knicks did last year to make sure they could beat a team like the Celtics. They made those correct moves. It worked. They did what they needed to do, and now teams are a lot more teams, I should say, not all teams, are catching on to build a team that way, and
Mhm.
you kind of have to now.
Mhm.
And I
Yeah.
love that.
So
Exactly.
yeah, bring up the locker room. That's definitely what the Sixers are working on because remember last year Maxey was calling out Embiid, Kelly Oubre was calling out Embiid. So they're
Well,
working on that by
a lot of that
drafting Ed
comes.
Jones,
A lot of
by
that
drafting Ed.
A lot of
Huh?
that frustration comes with having your best players injured. You know, that's a rare occurrence. When you got Embiid and then PG went down first, right? Wasn't he hurt first, like in the
Mhm.
first 4
Yeah.
games? You know,
Yeah.
and then Embiid goes down. Like that's going to ruin any atmosphere you had built for that team right off the bat. So then frustration sets in. So I was not surprised the team could not recover from that and just crumble.
Yeah.
And like you said,
What-
like you like to put it, Mitch, you like to say, they accidentally,
Yeah. Accidentally tanked.
yeah.
It was
when
accidentally,
when,
yeah.
when everybody on your team missed a significant amount of time, you're not going to be able to even consider going anywhere near what people thought you would.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So-
Mhm.
Yeah. So the Sixers are definitely working on that with the Edgecombe and Johnny Broom. Not a lot of people know what this guy Johnny Broom can do. And
he'll
I'm
be
just
good. I
saying
think he'll
he
be
can
good.
help the locker room a lot. What he can do. So
Get that broom out and start sweeping. That's what he's going to do. He's going to get out and start sweeping. He ain't going to get on it and ride at home or nothing, you know.
he's gonna be a two-way guy. He can be for the G League as
Top
well.
tier in the West. Top tier in the West. Yeah.
See, there's a lot right on the verge too. That's the thing.
Yeah,
not-
I would say top tier because then I would put Minnesota, maybe the Clippers,
Yeah,
right
the
below
next,
them,
The
and
next
then
is like 5 or 6 teams.
then
Yeah.
Memphis is like pushing it because what do you do there? I mean, getting back Triple J there is a big help.
Dallas.
So, Dallas. How do they gel? I mean, Dallas is another one that can push for the top tier. But it's all based also on Kyrie coming back from his injury. So
That's crazy how you're looking at Indiana,
mhm.
Boston, and Dallas all have to wait.
Mhm.
It's like those are terrible situations to be in. Like, I guess every other team should be thankful they're not in that situation because look how that is stirring up that whole all three of those entire organizations. Because it's like if you're going to lose one of your top 2 or 3 players for probably most of a year, it's like you can't just rebuild by okay, let's go get 5 great players and start over. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah, don't forget about Golden State as well. It's the healthy Steph Curry
You
there.
never count out the Lakers or the Warriors as long as Steph and LeBron are playing. I'll say that until they're done playing.
Yeah, Ayton is going to be the X factor there.
They
I don't know.
They definitely need to build better.
What
Both of those teams are not building better around either one of them.
To me, with the Lakers, it's
Yeah.
more about the ancillary pieces. Is Reeves going to come back? Because he opted out. Excuse me. Right now, we're talking about teams building depth in their programs.
Yeah.
What are the Lakers? First of all, LeBron taking 52.
Yeah, that
mil,
handcuffed them.
That handcuffed them.
Yeah,
big
like I
time.
said before. Yeah.
So and what can you add on? What can you add on to their roster? So you already lost who went to Houston. What's his name?
KD.
No,
From the Lakers.
Lakers.
Oh shoot. Let me look at the Rockets depth chart. Where's Rios? Rios.
Yeah, what was his Finney
Finney-Smith. Dorian
Yeah.
Finney-Smith. Yep.
Yeah. You lose him. Are you going to be able to keep what's his name from who is he a free agent? Not Reeves, the other one who played at Gonzaga. Japanese player.
I know what you're talking about. Hold on, I'm right here. Give me a second.
Hachimura.
Rory Hachimura. Yeah, he's still there. I don't know.
Okay, so he's still there. Okay, so
Yep.
but still, does that mean you're going to see more of Bronny now in his second year because your issues with depth. I mean, and I don't mean this as a joke. I'm being dead serious.
Yeah.
Bronny.
This
that
is the depth chart right now for the Lakers.
Austin Reeves is even though he tapped out. I know they're going to try and re-sign him, but okay, you got Gabe Vincent, Vanderbilt, okay, but really,
and then Bronny is not even here.
Shake Milton is over there.
Yeah.
Oh wow, didn't know that.
Yeah. Don Connect is in the Don Connect. Oh wow, he's in the third string. Wow. Hey, Sixers fans, how is that working out for us? We took McCain and not Connect. So
Neither of them are playing.
McCain is.
How many games did he play?
McCain's back in the gym.
I'm saying last year.
What was it like?
Yeah, 20.
No, I thought it was more than that. Hold on. I thought it was
Doesn't
like
matter.
20.
I'm just saying he didn't even play.
I know.
all year.
I'm actually curious though. He was going to win Rookie of the Year if he did not get injured.
If he kept up what he was doing, maybe it should be 69 games he played.
Oh yeah, that would have been lovely. Come on. 23. So there you go. 23, more than 20. So, yeah.
I knew something was weird. Can you guys out there even hear me? I don't even have my microphone hooked up.
I can hear you.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
You sound perfectly clear.
I hope they can hear me out there too. It must be coming from my camera then, because I forgot to plug in my microphone.
I thought you were using your headset. That's why.
No, this is just earbuds.
I thought you were using it as a microphone.
No, I tried a different set.
Oh, okay. McCain's ankle is a concern until he plays in a regular season game.
Everybody's ankles are concerned until they start wearing hot tops again.
He's gonna keep on saying that every week.
I saw a couple other takes finally talking about that. I mean, it's
Oh yeah. Oh, wow.
yeah, fine. I mean, it's something that kind of needs to be discussed. And as much as personally, Kobe has leaped LeBron in my all-time favorites.
A lot of people are there now.
Kobe started it. He was the low top master. The Kobes were always lows, and Steve Nash too. He was another one that always wore those lows, and everyone's still wearing mids, and some still high tops. Now the mids went away back in the old Fad 5 days and all that, when the black socks and the black shoes were big, and the baggy pants.
Yeah. So
I'm looking at a CBS Sports about that, and they're basically saying it's going to be the Rockets, Phoenix, the Lakers, Hawks, Timberwolves, Nets, and Warriors, and it looks like it's going to be a lot of the stuff that they've already done. They're just going to incorporate that because of the money purposes, because of the CBA. So,
yep, it is right here. Minnesota as well. So you got the Hawks, Nets, Warriors, Lakers, Wolves. Yep. That is just crazy. 7 teams.
I mean, now that's the thing. When you have 7 teams, there's a lot of little things you have to do because of the contracts and everything, and making sure everything matches. But I mean, if you already have most of the parameters, it's not, to me, I'm not expecting like, okay, you're going to see one other superstar included in this 7-team mega deal. It's going to be a lot of the stuff that you've already seen. Clint Capella's included in it, which you already see that he's already committed to Houston. So it's like, okay, you're just doing it for paperwork. That's me. That's how I read it. I mean, that's what I'm getting from this article on CBSSports.com. So
that's what I exactly said. What I said earlier to my dad. I'm like, it's just money. There's no players getting moved whatsoever. I mean, hey, history in the making. 7 teams. No, not you, Siri. Oh my God! When I say history, activate Siri.
Trust me, I go through that with it's not Siri here. It's the other app that I have. So.
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah. So, Blaze, what do you think about this trade with 7 teams?
Gonna have to see it first. I mean, to see what it actually entails.
Mm,
Didn't you say that this could break the NBA or something?
No, there was other rumors of something else going down too. Whether it's this or not, we don't know. I mean, there's just something that was supposed to be big that Shams was talking about, but he didn't want to talk about it too much because things change. And if it falls through and it doesn't happen, and he's the one that came out saying it's going to change basketball, or change the league, or whatever, then he's the one who said it wrong. And as the head person of basically reporting NBA news right now, he's got to be careful what he says. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, but he was kind of like, you could tell he was kind of hinting that there's some big rumblings out there. And that's all you can say right now, because like I even said, I think we were talking about a couple weeks ago, Mitch, where it's like, I remember hearing one of the guys say, you got to be careful when you're going into a draft, talking to other teams, representatives and stuff, because before a draft, everybody's lying.
mm-hmm.
Well, look what I just found. Hopefully TRL sees this, but the Suns are working on discussing a possible buyout for Bradley Beal. And
They should be.
it
They
should have
gotta
been
get
done
rid
a
of that
while
thing
ago.
somehow, yeah.
It should have been done a while ago.
Yeah, they might have been discussing it for a while. We don't know. They finally got word of it. I mean, how long does it take before you realize? And there's no answer to this question. It's rhetorical. How long does it take before you realize a project like that didn't work?
Well, the question I'm going to pose is this: what if Bradley Beal says, "I want all my money"?
That's the conundrum that the Suns put themselves in by signing that stupid big ass contract.
So it's like, okay, and if I'm Beal, it's like, that's the first thing. How much are you buying me out for? How much money are you trying to recoup in a sense?
And it's such a shame because it ruins possibilities for a team where, I mean, the Suns could have been phenomenal. Just imagine if those three, say put different names in those positions, I guess, or something. Three of them that are working out. I mean, they did a big risk, but look how far it sets you back. The same thing with the Dame thing. Yeah, they had to do that to get a little money recouped to bring someone in. But in the long run, that's still hurting them. It's like that, and that goes all the way back to us talking about paying for potential instead of paying for performance. And it ain't going to change, and it's all speculation. And we're all waiting to the end of contracts to find out which team's going to stay together.
Yeah. Beast Mode says the fact that KD up 3-1 on Warriors, he didn't finish the job and he joins them. Imagine Kobe Bryant going through the MJ Bulls or 2008 Boston Celtics.
Well, here's a question I got for you two, because you guys, and I admitted it, I don't look as deep into the numbers of the salaries and the caps and all that shit as some people do. But do you guys think that this could be a problem where in the next few years, whenever another agreement comes up, that they have to change something because of the way the salary is structured? I think it might. It is a possibility
might have to go to reset,
where they might have to change something major when it comes.
It's always anytime in contract negotiations, you look at the current contract and you say, first of all, you prioritize in order. What's the number one that you want to see change on a contract, and what can you live with going forward? Then you want to add little things in. So yes, this I think will be a big thing, in terms of, the owners, are they going to want to keep it? Because, and the other thing is your small market teams really like this because it allows them to be able to compete and, get players, where the big market teams, they want to, a little bit more latitude. They don't want to be restricted like this. So, but I think it could impact, especially if the players are really restricted and they're forced to start taking less money going forward because, they can't really get their max like they would like to do, or the max is only going to a small select few and everyone else is not being able to eat from it. So
I got you. It's that's the kind of the vibe I'm getting without being like that into it. I'm just the chatter is so loud right now. It's like, man, this could actually do something where they do have to change things eventually. But I don't know if it's not working for a lot of years. I don't see why they shouldn't try to change it.
Do you think that there could be like a lockout or something like the NFL did years ago, something with the contracts? I feel like that could happen at some point.
I mean, it's always a possibility, but
the NBA pitches something that could, like Coach has said, could handcuff these players to where they would have to take less money and stuff. The players might have to force some kind of argument in the negotiations. So I mean, as much as I say I'd never want to claim to be an expert on that stuff, I fucking understand it. I mean, I know how it works, but I mean, I don't dig into it as much as a lot of people do. But I just wanted you guys' opinion on if this is something that, if it gets worse, could be, hey, we got to change something major here now when it comes to how much money's on the table for these teams.
Didn't the NBA have a lockout? Like, I forget when that was. Didn't they have something where the season was cut in half?
If I remember, every major sport has had a lockout.
I can remember each
hockey, baseball, basketball, football. Yeah.
Remember scrubs?
NBA lockout question mark. 2011. It was 2011. They had 66 games.
I mean, I'd never want it to come to that, to be honest, because that's like the biggest fear for an avid fan of a sport like we are, to not have the sport at all because they can't work stuff out. But that's what I'm saying. Like, I hope it doesn't get to be a monetary problem where many teams are forced to consider asking the NBA to change big things. You know what I mean? Because I mean, as much as a lot of people are saying that the NBA is broken right now, that the NBA is, I think it's in flux. I think it's in the middle of an era change. When the Stephs and the LeBrons are gone, and this young crop of new talent now takes over, and you don't necessarily need a face to, that's like, I mean, the days of telling people you're the greatest or you're the best, that's for other people to decide. And I mean, I'm not going to try to take any of, and I got to bring LeBron up, I'm not going to try to take any of his greatness away because he is one of the best of all time. But you put players like the ones that, like, no, that's not for me to decide. If I'm this person's favorite or that person's greatest, or if I'm the best, I'd rather you tell me, because if I'm telling you, of course I'm going to want to be the best. It comes off a little differently, and it's more predominant now. And I am looking forward to the new regime, to the way basketball is being played. A little more up tempo, a little more focus on defense. And it's not only just horking up threes like people thought the last couple of years. There's so much more to it, and I still think it's the greatest sport on earth. I mean, that's just me.
Yeah, I definitely agree with you on that. But, I'm trying to. Damn, I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyway, hey Daniel, what is up, man? What is up? How's everyone doing? How you doing, man? Thank you for stopping by. MLB had a lockout.
I don't want to. I can't stand when they have like.
What's good, Ryan?
Lockout strikes and shit like that. Like that's.
Strikes. What is this? Baseball?
We're sports fans. We don't want to see them not play.
But you know what? Having been a part of a union, I get it. I don't begrudge them. It's just like, when I worked at Verizon, we went out on a strike. People didn't like it. Oh, well, you should be in there, because of my. Well, you know what? We are fighting for, better wages, insurance, whatever the case.
Yeah, I believe in the union. There should be. I mean, well, I was on the other side of that Verizon union because I was on the wireless end, which we weren't union. And we had you guys in our parking lots for a while, not too long ago, and we're trying to explain to people, no, we're a different company. We're not technically the same company. And you're like, Verizon is the same company. Don't play me for stupid. I know you're the same company.
Yeah. So,
I used to tell people that all the time. I said, there's three entities technically to this. They're like three. There's business, there's consumer, and then there's wireless.
Yeah.
So, and now it's even more now because you have, internet and TV, and it's.
When you have this many billions of dollars floating around, it's like those who argue about players getting too much money. But listen, they wouldn't be getting that money if it wasn't there. So like they're generating enough revenue to
Mhm.
pay these people. So it's like that's where I do understand the business end of that part extraordinarily, because that's my cup of tea. It's like I understand that there always will be a business part when that much money's involved, especially
Yeah.
Mhm.
because that changes things.
So really quick before we head out, Blaze, you were talking about the future of the game and everything. That's exactly what the Lakers are trying to do. And you look at what LeBron did with handcuffs and everything. It's just like, what were they trying to do? Like every center was getting out of there because they couldn't afford them. Now they got DeAndre Ayton. It's like the Lakers are pretty much done at this
Honestly,
point because of LeBron.
I think all he cares about right now is maybe getting a couple more records, whatever other records he's close to, because he's probably close to a couple more records because of his
John
longevity.
Stockton.
Because of his longevity, I don't know. It doesn't matter. And bringing Bryce into the NBA. Those are probably the only two things he's worried about now.
But when is Bryce supposed to be coming into the NBA?
He's a freshman this year.
So
He's gonna be like a one and done. He's like a late first,
Okay.
early second
So
round.
so next now we're talking next year. So here's the argument though.
Yeah.
Who's going to want to sign LeBron? That's the thing. LeBron right now is a free agent after this year. Most teams are probably, and with this new CBA, who's going to want to afford him? I know paying $52 million. Nah, man. Mm-mm.
I mean, it's like I really do, even though I don't have any kids, I get the wanting to make history and be in the league with your boy. I get that. Like I marked out when the Griffies did that back in the day. I thought that was something special. I don't give a shit about the Griffies or the Reds or anything. I don't care. It's just to see history in sports like that's kind of crazy.
Yeah, did you hear about Valanciunas? He's gonna go overseas now after being traded to Denver.
Why would you want to do that?
Maybe they're giving him more. Once again, we go back to the business part. Maybe
You have the opportunity to compete for a championship. That's the first thing I'm thinking. I'm thinking champion, but yeah, you're right. If it's more money.
Yeah, did he have one with Cleveland? Was he in Cleveland when they won it?
No, that's
was he Toronto? Was he Toronto when they won it? No.
Yes.
Toronto.
Let me see.
Oh, okay.
I think he has a ring.
Okay. Then I stand down. I stand corrected.
But still, you should still want to get more rings too. You know, just because you have one, don't mean you should not want to. But it's I don't know.
He did not receive a ring with the Raptors in 2019.
Yeah, like I'm saying though, if he got this new deal with Denver,
damn it, where's Randy?
And then here's this team from the Philippines saying, "Well, we're going to add $10 million to that." Well, hello, Philippines. Let me start learning the language a little bit.
Yeah.
I'll go there for a couple years, learn the language, and make 10 extra million. You know what I'm saying? See,
you're
world a little bit, be the man on somebody's team.
Yep. Thank you, Brian. He was traded in the Kawhi trade package, so that's why.
I was wondering if he was on one of those teams and got a ring or not.
Yeah.
I'm surprised he wasn't the one to go to the Lakers.
Right.
I don't know if Ayton's really the answer, though. I mean,
I'm not a big Ayton guy. I'm not.
Valanciunas was traded, so he couldn't go to unless they agreed to trade him there. So Ayton was a free agent, so that's a little bit different.
He had a lot of promise. He just hasn't panned out. And once again, how long are you supposed to wait? And he's been
right.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but he's been on a couple different teams, right?
Oh wait.
Portland,
Phoenix, Portland.
Yeah,
Phoenix, Portland.
He's tried a few different systems. Yep. So it's not like he's been on one team and decided he can't do it.
Would Denver rescind the trade? I don't know.
That's a good question, but
I think everything becomes official on the 6th, so you do have the opportunity. If I would think you could back out, especially in a situation like this. If he decides, well, I'm going to go overseas. So I would want to look at his contract, because contractually, if he's under contract, could they prohibit him from going overseas? So you have to see the wording in his contract, where it prohibits him from playing from any professional team across the world, or is it just in the United States? So I would be real interested to see his contract.
Yeah, I can't wait just like for this NBA in general. But yeah, guys, we're gonna close out here. Make sure you guys hit that like, hit that subscribe. Quick question, actually. You guys know how many first overall picks LeBron James played with?
6.
How many? 9.
69.
Yeah, yeah. Luka's his 9th, or Aiton's his 9th. Aiton's gonna be his 9th.
I mean, as much as I'm critical of LeBron, I don't really put that much on him because if you're
I
going
just
to win,
laugh. I just laugh.
people are making such a big deal about that right now because of the interviews he's done. And I'm
Right.
just like, I don't really make that big of a deal because you're going to win 4 championships or whatever. You better have some good players next to you. You're
Yep.
probably not going to win 4 championships. I don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Same thing as that free throw merchant bullshit and all this. It's just fluff.
Uh,
It doesn't really
yeah.
matter.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, really quick, Coach. Enjoy Yabba Dabba Doo, Scooby Doo.
Yeah, you stole our Yabu, damn it. You stole our Yabu. I mean, seriously, a guy who's a scrapper, rebounder, a
He
spark.
can knock down a 3.
He's such a great. I mean, I think he's going to fit in very well with the Knicks. I mean, I'll be real.
If he has me reminisce about Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason, I'm
that's
going to love him.
That's a great
Yeah.
comparison. Because, like we said earlier, he doesn't need to score, but still have an impact on the game. He doesn't need
Yeah.
to start, but still will have an impact on the game. That's
Yeah.
I said earlier, I think that's a bigger loss than Philly realizes.
I agree. I'm gonna miss Yabu, man. I'm gonna miss Yabu. Ah, damn. With that being said, guys, we'll catch you all next week. Rios is at work. He'll be back next week. So.
Oh, my Yabu back. I blame halftime and his Knicks. Hey, I'm going out on a limb right now. Knicks all the way next year.
All right. Are you Blaze
Knicks?
Knicks now?
I'm Knicks full time.
All right, guys. I'll catch you all later. Everyone have a good rest of your night. Peace.
Knicks